Suppose that a simple regression has quantities n equal to 20, so that's your sample size. Summation of yi square is this value, y bar is this value, and the explained sum of squares, that is your ESS, is equal to this. We have to find the R square. Well, we know that the formula to calculate R square is explained sum of squares divided by total sum of squares. Now, the difficult part in this question is that they have directly given us the explained sum of squares in the question, so the numerator is not going to be an issue. The problem is, what is your denominator going to be? And to figure out the denominator, you first need to know what is the mathematical expression for total sum of squares. Well, your total sum of squares can be written as summation of yi minus y bar whole square. Now, if you take a look at the information that's given to you, it is not matching this particular expression. So that means we will have to solve for this expression further. Okay, so we can write this as summation, and I can use the formula of a minus b whole square over here. So the formula is a minus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square minus 2ab. Okay, so over here, yi is playing the role of a and y bar is playing the role of b. So this is going to be a square, that is your yi square, plus b square, that is plus y bar square, minus 2yi times y bar. Okay, so your TSS can also be written like this. Now we are going to distribute the summation. So it is going to become summation of this plus summation of this plus summation of this. Okay, so this becomes summation of yi square plus summation of y bar square minus summation of 2yi y bar. Now let's see how can we simplify it further. So the first term is going to remain as it is, that's your summation of yi square, and obviously this summation is going from I equal to 1 to n. So wherever I have written this summation, it is going from I equal to 1 to n. So this term over here, it's a constant. Okay, so y bar square is a constant. And you should know this rule that when you sum a constant n times, it becomes n multiplied by that constant. Okay, if you're not familiar with this rule, I'm going to write it over here. Imagine that you're working with a constant, so pick any number. Let's say pick 5. Okay, and if I ask you to add 5 3 times, what does it become? It becomes 3 times 5. Right? Similarly, if I ask you to add 5 4 times, what will it become? It will become 4 times 5. Okay. Now, if I ask you to add 5 n times, so I'm adding it n times. So if you are adding 5 n times, it will become n times 5. So this is the rule that I'm using over here, that your y bar is a constant. It's a particular value. That means your y bar square will also be a constant. And when you sum a constant n times, it becomes n times that particular constant. Okay, so this will become n times y bar square. So that's going to be your second term. Now let's take a look at the third term. So in the third term, once again, the summation is going from I equal to 1 to n. And this 2 over here does not have any I component, and y bar also does not have any I component. So basically this 2y bar will come out of the summation. Okay. So this will become minus, the 2 will come out of summation, y bar will also come out of summation, and the summation will only be applicable on yi. I hope this is clear. This is actually your basic algebra. Okay. So now let's see how can we solve it further. So if you take a look at the first term, we already know the value of the first term. It's given to us directly. So this is a piece of cake now. If you take a look at the second term, in the second term we have n. Well, we know the value of n. And then it is multiplied by the square of y bar. This is also simple. They have given us y bar, so we can figure out the square of y bar. The main thing that is going to cause some problem now is your term number 3. Because in term number 3, we know your y bar, so this is not a problem. The main thing is, what is your summation of yi? Okay, because they have not given us summation of yi. However, it's quite simple. Basically, if you know the formula for y bar is actually summation of yi over n. Okay, so instead of summation of yi, if I cross multiply, I can just put n times y bar. So that means I can write this as summation of yi square plus n y bar square minus 2y bar, and instead of summation of yi, I can substitute ny bar. Okay, so this is ny bar. So this becomes summation of yi square plus n y bar square minus 2. This is n and this is y bar multiplied by y bar. So this also becomes y bar square. So this is equal to summation of yi square. So this is plus n y bar square minus twice of n y bar square. So this becomes minus n y bar square. Okay, so I have done basic subtraction over here. If you want to understand the subtraction, though it's quite basic, from these two terms you can take n y bar square as common, and when you do it, you get 1 minus 2. Okay, so it becomes n y bar square times minus 1. So basically it becomes minus n y bar square. Okay, so that's what I've written over here. So ultimately, what is it that we have got? This is what your TSS is. So TSS is defined in this manner. And then when we simplified it, the same TSS can also be written as this. Okay, and now all you have to do is put your numbers to figure out the value of TSS. So now I can put the values over here. So the TSS is equal to, instead of summation of yi square, I can put 5930.94 minus n is equal to 20, and y bar square is, this is your y bar, 16.035. So y bar square is the square of this. Okay, and when you solve this, you will find that TSS is equal to 788.5155. Okay, and now it's quite simple to find R square. You already know what your ESS is equal to. So your ESS is 666.72. We have found that your TSS is equal to 788.5155, and this is going to be 0.8455. Okay, that means the correct answer is part A.